Welcome back, friends. It is baby month. I'm so excited. This is the month that my baby will arrive unless he's super late, which I don't plan for him to be. We are almost 36 weeks when you're seeing this video. And so it is crunch time now. I feel very behind on the things that I normally, by this point, I have like almost everything ready and we're like ready to go. But y'all know our life has been crazy with moving and then all the house projects. And so I need to start focusing on getting ready for this baby. And I've been doing just a little bit here and there, but I really need to start doing a lot more now that we're getting really close. But the problem is I don't have a lot of energy these days, so I'm really having to pace myself. So in this video, you will see me in a lot of different outfits because I'm just gonna do this a little bit at a time this week. And so I need to do things like wash some of the baby items. I'm really funny about like, I want my baby clothes to be super clean when the baby gets here. So I will probably not wash everything until like a few weeks before my due date. But I do wanna wash some things like my boppy pillow, some of the baby carriers that I have, just things that I know aren't going to be like touching the baby's skin like right away. When it's newborn, I can go ahead and wash and like get in the sun because all of those things that I just mentioned were purchased secondhand. So I really want them to be clean and sterilized before we use them. I also may try to disassemble my baby crib and try to get that washed too at some point. But I also want to make my lactation cookies. Now I have been making these, I think since like my second child was born. They are so delicious and they are just one of those things I really look forward to postpartum. It's basically an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, but you add brewer's yeast into it. And I eat these, I take some to the hospital. I start eating them in the hospital. I eat them during the night while I'm nursing. I just freeze them into small little portion sized baggies and pull a few out every couple of days. They are one of my favorite treats postpartum. So I'm definitely gonna be making some of those. I also am gonna be making some Comfrey salve. Now, if you haven't heard of Comfrey salve, I have been using this for at least 2 years, if not 3 years. And it has been a game changer for us and our skin. It is made from comfrey leaves and you soak those leaves in olive oil for several weeks to get this really pretty green oil, which you then use to make Comfrey salve. And I'll show you how I do that in a little bit. But we use this for our skin throughout the whole year. Anytime we have any kind of dry skin patches, you can even use it to like heal the skin from like burns and things like that. But what I'm planning to use it for is a diaper rash cream when the baby comes. I don't know that I've ever actually used it for a diaper cream. We started using it for just little patches of eczema that my kids had on their skin, my little babies, and it changed their skin completely. And it actually 100% healed the eczema on 2 of my kids. They had just like constant dry patches on their skin, and we used that consistently for probably about 6 months to a year, and they have never struggled with that again since. So I am a huge proponent in Comfrey salve, and it's actually super easy to make. So I will show you how to do that. I also have been trying to make a few freezer meals here and there. I don't think I'm gonna get a whole lot of these in the freezer because guys, I try to like double things and we just end up eating them before I can get them in the freezer. It's like my kids are eating so much right now, I cannot keep up. And I cannot even get ahead of like the bread baking and all of that either, because like as soon as I bake bread, they eat it and it's like I can't even get it in the freezer. So I'm really struggling with that. I need to just put it in the freezer the minute I bake it and then just say this is what we have and that's it, I guess. But I've been trying to just focus on one freezer meal a week that I can try to get in the freezer. And this week I really want to try to get in the freezer meatballs. So I'm going to be making a big batch of meatballs and freezing those so that we can have a quick, easy dinner just to throw in the oven, put some barbecue sauce on top, when the baby arrives. But that's kind of the plan for the week. I don't know if we will get to all of that, but I'm just gonna bring you guys along throughout the week, share what I'm doing, and hopefully this helps if you are preparing for a baby. If not, sometimes these videos are just fun to watch people just get things done. Right now though, I wanna turn the camera around and show you how I've prepared my closet for postpartum. First off, I wanted to show you guys this armoire in my bedroom that I told you guys a couple of videos back that I was going to be painting. Well, I painted it. It's like a brownish green color. I love it so much. It turned out so good. I still need to buy some knobs. I want some really pretty gold knobs. I'm going to look at Hobby Lobby for that. But that got done this weekend. It actually didn't take me very long at all. So I'm super glad that got done. I feel like it looks really pretty with the green that we have in our bedroom. Okay, so this is not my main closet. This is like my side closet. My main closet is actually through our bathroom in to the left right there. But this is an extra closet and we actually weren't using it for anything. So I thought I'm going to make a special section in here for summer postpartum things. So that's what I have here is all of my summer postpartum outfits, just anything that I thought would work for like breastfeeding in the summer. And then right here are winter postpartum outfits. Anything that I thought would work for like breastfeeding in the winter time, I went ahead and put right here. And then anything else that I thought was not going to fit me for a really long time, I put in just bins down here, because I didn't even want to look at that stuff because it's going to make me sad that I can't fit into it right now. So I just put it out of sight. And then the things that I have in my actual closet, my main closet, are things that I can wear right now, or just like layering pieces and jackets and things like that. So this was super helpful to do. And so I highly recommend that. I even put things in here like tank tops and skirts that I'm hoping will fit postpartum. You just kind of never know, but these are things that I thought would probably work. Some of my stretchy waistband pants. These are like kimonos. Actually, this one needs to probably be in summer, but then these are dresses that have kind of a neckline that will probably work for like nursing. So jackets that have like button fronts that'll probably work for nursing. So anyways, this is where we're at with the clothing situation. I was able to do that in a day a couple of weeks ago, and it made me feel so much better just having all of that organized. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how I make the Comfrey salve now. It could not be easier. You're gonna need some beeswax. I just get this kind off of Amazon, and it comes in these tiny little pellets, and that way I don't have to like grate it or anything like that. It's just, I pour it straight into the pan here. And then this is the Comfrey oil that I have had sitting for several weeks. So what you do with this is you just get Comfrey leaves. I get the dried ones on Amazon, just like you would use like in a tea. And then I fill this jar up about 2/3 of the way full of the Comfrey leaves, and then I fill the rest of it up with olive oil. It's really not like an exact science. So that's how that works. You just kind of want it to be all the way almost to the top. And then I put the jar in the oven on 200 degrees for 1 hour. So you put it in the oven just like this, just to kind of heat the leaves up a little bit. And then you take it out of the oven, put this on top, and you leave it on your counter for like 2 weeks, just so the olive oil absorbs all of the nutrients and everything from the Comfrey leaves. So now I'm gonna strain this out, and then I'm gonna add this oil to my pot along with my beeswax. You want about 1.5 to 2 ounces of beeswax. It just kind of depends on the consistency you like. I like mine to be a little bit thicker of a consistency, but you can always just take some out, like once you get it all in here and everything melts. You can take a little bit out in a spoon, like put the spoon in the freezer for a few minutes and then see what the consistency is like. See if that is like the kind of consistency you like. I like it to be just like a little bit thicker than like an aquaphor would be. And then to that, you're gonna wanna put a tablespoon of vitamin E oil in there and then 15 drops of lavender oil. You can omit the lavender oil if you don't want that, but I feel like lavender oil has such great healing properties that this really helps a lot. So I grabbed a little bit of it out of the pot after everything melted and I put it in the freezer just for a second to see what the consistency is gonna do. It is very oily, but it's also like thick enough. So I feel like this is good. This is about the consistency of like an aquaphor. So that is what I'm gonna go with. I went with 1.5 ounces of the beeswax, and you're just adding the beeswax because it kind of acts as like a binder so that it's not just pure oil going on your skin. It gives it a little thickness to it. So now I'm going to bottle all of this up into these little glass jars and put the lid on them, and they will store like forever. I use them, one batch of this lasts us usually like a year. So they last a really long time, and a little goes a long way. So once it dries and hardens up, this is what it looks like. It is such a pretty color and it works so well. It smells really good too. So that's how you make comfrey salve. So for this meatball recipe, I 5 times the one that I linked below for you guys. This is not the exact recipe I follow because honestly I don't really follow a recipe. I just kind of throw things in, but I found one online that's similar to what I do. Oh, and I wanted to mention for the breadcrumbs, I actually just cut up some old sourdough that I had lying around and I put it in my Ninja blender and I blended it up into small breadcrumbs, and then I just baked it for a little bit, and that's what I'm using for my breadcrumbs. It worked out really well. So I'm just adding all the ingredients to this big bowl, and then I like to mix it with my hands until I kind of get it the right consistency. It's basically the same consistency you would want if you were doing burgers. So I put all of that into, I was able to fill 3 of these pans, and then I was able to fill a little bit of a bag, a gallon size bag too. So it did make quite a bit. I used 5 pounds of ground beef, and what we usually do with these meatballs is we just put them in the oven with some barbecue sauce on them, and then we eat them with some various sides, and they are so delicious. You could also use them in spaghetti, and that would be really good too. And then it was time to move on to the lactation cookies, and I started off by grinding a little bit of wheat berries in my Nutri-Grain mill. I really like to use a little bit of whole wheat flour along with regular all-purpose flour. So once you do all of that, then you're going to mix together your flaxseed with your water, and then you're going to set that aside for a few minutes, and then you're going to mix your butter and your sugars together, and then you add in your eggs, and then you can stir in that flaxseed mixture and vanilla and butter, and then you add your flour and your salt and your cinnamon and your baking soda, and at that point you should be adding your brewer's yeast. But actually I forgot that in this recipe, and I was so bummed because that's kind of the secret ingredient. That's what really helps with boosting milk supply. So I forgot that for the first probably 2 batches that I baked, and then I remembered it, so I did get some in there for the last couple of batches that I baked. But I did double this recipe, and it made quite a bit of cookies. was able to get so much accomplished this week. I feel really good. Today I worked on getting some of the baby things washed and cleaned, and so that's what I was doing earlier, is getting all of this out in the sunshine to sterilize. So I am feeling good. We are gonna just keep trekking along and getting as much done as we possibly can. I also have caught a cold, so I have not had near the energy that I normally do, and haven't gotten quite as much done this week as I would have liked to, but still, I still feel good about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me this week as I get some nesting done. I will be posting more videos similar to these in the coming weeks, so stick around for all the baby content. I would love to know what you guys are up to this week. Are you preserving food? Are you just knee-deep into homeschooling and homemaking? Let's chat about that in the comments below, and I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, friends.